Make sure you listen to my daddy's podcast right now. It's the best show in the world.
I'm on a roll. I'm trying ball time, give it a go. Switch bad time, fuck me, I ball. White bitch trap, how do I know? I'm getting cash today. Fuck around, get a bag today. Why they treat me like a castaway? Bring it up and find a fast away. These niggas sad. Everything I do, I make them mad. Little dummies finna crash in my lane. Leave the pussy, bring a major pain. I was broken and it's been the same. I'm really in the game, fucking the same. I know I'm fly, I don't need a plane. They ain't know me, now they screaming my name. These niggas cap. You gotta pay me if you want me to rap. Every show, bitch, I need a stat. I remember I was stuck in a trap. Yeah. See when I'm bars, little baby don't know what it costs. Little baby don't know what I lost. Little baby just want to see the stars. Put the work on it, yeah. 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 Put the work on it, yeah.
Episode number 28 of the Cards Face Up podcast. I am your host, Mr. Ty Hill. That song right there was Baby Egypt. That shit called Put In Work. I fuck with that. Today, you feel me, it's an honor to bring on two brothers that I admire in life, you feel me? And their name is, first up, Mr. LeVar Moore, a.k.a. Mr. Cardy. What can I call you? A battle rapper specialist, OG to the hip hop community. I could call you all those titles, right, Cardy?
I know, man. It's all good though. All
you do
titles
it all,
welcome,
G.
man.
You do it all, my G. You do it all. And I also have the big homie on, Dante Barksdale, you feel me, who's a street advocate, spreads a lot of positivity. I actually saw your stuff online a while ago as far as the positivity that you were spreading throughout Baltimore. And then when I did my little homework on you, I saw the positivity that you do even beyond Baltimore City, you feel me? So I had to bring you on. And if to all of the listeners that said that name sounds familiar, Dante Barksdale, yes, that is the legendary family Barksdale, you feel me? For those of y'all that have watched The Wire and things of that sort. His uncle, rest in peace to OG, Avon Barksdale.
Absolutely. That's actually my cousin. Everybody, we just call him Uncle Boldy. Everybody call him Uncle Boldy, but he really my cousin.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so that's my father's first cousin.
Got you. So that's legendary right there, man. That's legendary. So I brought you two brothers along, you feel me, just because I felt as though it's real important for us to touch the streets, and all of us have our niche that we all are giving something to the streets. So I felt as though it's only right to bring us on one platform and talk about that shit. Cardy, you have actual gang affiliation, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You care to say what gang you actually in, or that part don't really?
I mean, I'm 43 years old now, so I'm a lot grown and only minimal activity. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It started with the Lokes, though.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
I didn't grew up a whole lot. Did a whole lot, but
absolutely.
Yeah,
I could dig it. And that's actually something that we wanted to discuss on. That's one of the biggest things. Like y'all know over here at the Cards Face Up podcast, we don't do interviews, we do conversations between homies, and now we family, you feel me? And one of the biggest things that I wanted to touch on was gang life, you feel me? And I also remember reading a while ago from you, Dante, you said you spoke on gangs and how Baltimore isn't a gang city.
Yeah.
You remember saying something like that? I think it was to the city paper or something of sort.
Absolutely.
Right. And have you ever been affiliated with any gangs?
Yeah, the Lafayette Projects, boys. That's I always used to tell the police, you want to put me in a gang? Yeah, I'm with the Lafayette boys.
I could dig it. LA Projects.
Yeah, LA Projects. That's what gang I'm in. You know?
I could dig it. You feel me? So I had a question for you brothers. You feel me? They say it's more than 20,000 gangs in America, and that's approximately 1 million people just in America. You know, all 50 states have gang ties now. And the number grows bigger every day inside every city, you feel me? Urban cities, rural places, all those type of places. And I have a question. I want to know, do y'all think, like, what do y'all think that stem from? That number rising daily. Do that stem from the aspect of niggas is scared and they can't stand on their own, so they join some shit? Is it they just want to belong to something because they don't belong to nothing else? Is it fear of, if I don't belong to some shit, then now I gotta, I can't really carry it by myself, and the gangs react a certain way because I don't, because gang, I grew up over on East Baltimore. You feel me? And I come from a neighborhood that is literally Bloods on one block and then 2 blocks over is Crips. You dig what I'm saying? So if you caught inside the middle of that, which way do you fall? What do y'all feel the reason is why gangs are so big in America now, whereas though, like you said, Dante, they didn't even really, they existed here, but we wasn't a gang city. Now we becoming the type of gang city.
Yeah. You want to go first, bro, or you want me to talk?
I guess I kind of just go first because I'm going to keep it real short, bro. I think it's all those reasons, Ty, because, like, if you think about it, even the strong brothers out here right now know that they can't win by themselves with the level of education that they got. So they put contingency plans in place. Like, all right, my plan B is, look, this don't work out in my house. All right, I got them lokes over here. We can tear shit up if we need to, but motherfuckers just don't never pass being a baby in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers just never grew up as far as my experience with that shit. They always down with doing some shit to other niggas, but they ain't never down with hitting these police or whoever is with the real oppressing type shit. That's the whole point, yo. That's what really got me fucked up, bro. That's all.
Yeah. And with me, I kind of seen it grow, right? Like with me, like I could remember town being like a town of blocks. You was from either a project or you was from these 2 cross blocks, right? You was from Lafayette, Murphy Homes, Flag House, Somerset, Gilmore Projects, or you was from North and Long, or you was from Park Heights and Shirley, or you was from Liberty Heights and Garrison, you was from Midway. So I think what happened was that our town was already kind of set up for the bullshit. You dig what I'm saying? Because our town has always been segregated, right? And when I say segregated, I'm talking about in a sense where our neighborhoods were segregated. Like, we always took pride in like our neighborhood. Oh, I'm from Lafayette, I'm from here, I'm from there, I'm from North and Long. But that gang shit, bro, just grew because this is what I seen. In the late 90s, while I'm about to come home from prison, and through the 90s, you see like the BGF was starting. I was on the phone. I was in Hagerstown in 1993, 94, right? And I wound up going to Patuxent. But Ray had just came from California, right? And when we was on the phone, me, my Uncle Butt, Doc, Petey Giles, all them kinds of dudes, Fred White, Uncle Ray. And it used to be a joke. Niggas would say when Uncle Ray get drunk, he get on his revolutionary shit, right?
Right.
Talk about Black Power and all that shit. So it was kind of like a joke for the old heads that already had been in the penitentiary, locked up. Here come Ray. He come from California, from this prison, and he BGF, because he was at BGF when he was over there in California. Right. So when he would talk about that shit, it would kind of be like a joke. Niggas would be like, man, Ray in there drunk, he on that revolutionary shit. So you see the BGF growing from the late 90s, the mid to the late 90s, right? But these dudes were actually trying probably to save the neighborhoods, right? Even though all of them was into all kind of stuff, hustling, whatever they doing, right? But I think they was trying to save the neighborhood. So what I seen was, I came home from jail, and it's maybe 2000, 2001, right? You hearing about the BGF in the jail, but you're not kind of hearing about it on the street.
Right.
So this
Because
50 Cent guy,
it was a time that you wasn't supposed to say you was BGF, right? It was only supposed to be a jail.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be a secret society. No nobody
exactly. That's what I remember.
So what happened was 50 Cent got hot, right? 50 Cent got hot, and it was many men. And then he bought this motherfucker named Game on. Boom. And when this nigga Game went about 5 times platinum, I'm home. I'm in the streets. I ain't doing no Say Street shit. I ain't on no Say Street shit. I'm selling dope. I'm in the street. I got weed, all that.
Right.
And I started seeing all these motherfucking red flags. But what was happening was, it was kind of like what Baltimore City is, a copycat ass town, right? So all of the young boys, all of the babies all over town, bro, start becoming Bloods, right? So you seeing it in the street, but by me not being in prison, I can see that Courtside is painted red, right? So after that happened, I think what happened was, it was things taking place like this. I might get a call from out back or on the farm, and niggas be like, yeah, you know, the blood niggas jumped on such and such. Such and such was a stand-up dude. Such and such was 30-something years old, and they saying these 2 niggas from the Eastern Shore, this New York boy, 2 West Baltimore niggas, and this East Baltimore nigga jumped on Slim. But they was all Bloods, right? So what you start to see was the BGF start to recruit at a high level, because what was happening is, Baltimore dudes got their chests out. We in the joint. We run the joint. Ain't no Eastern Shore niggas gonna be running out prisons. No New York boys, no DC niggas, no nothing. So the Baltimore niggas start recruiting at a high rate, right? Now we got all these Bloods, all these BGF dudes. Then you got the dudes, what I used to see, because I had another group of little homeboys who wanted to be Crips. So they, just because they didn't like Bloods, and they ain't like some of them, man, them dudes lames, man. He a blood. You know, the Bloods let anybody in. They don't give a fuck. Everybody becoming a Blood. So then you got a group of dudes saying, well, shit, I'm going to be the opposition. I'm going to be a Crip. And I seen this for myself, because it was happening in my homeboy family, where some of his nephews was Bloods and some of them was Crips. But the ones that was Crips was only Crips because they ain't want to be Bloods, and they ain't like some of the dudes that was Bloods.
Right, they ain't want to fuck with them.
Fuck them niggas, I'm a Crip, right? And then on top of that, you got the BGF, right? So when you look up and you look in the jail to the mid-2000s, we got all these Bloods, all these Crips, all these BGF niggas. Because why? Some niggas want to be Crips for their own personal gains, their own personal beliefs, and
some niggas just want
the
to go
way they
the
know
grain.
to get by, right? So now you got all these gangs, right? Now you look at the city, you can't even really tell who a Blood is, but you know everybody that's BGF, and you know it's Crip neighborhoods, right? Cause if you go in Poplar Grove and you go up all that stuff, you know that's a whole Crip neighborhood.
Yeah, you can see actually,
right?
Yep.
Then you see Emerson Avenue, they Bloods, right? And the shit just sped out of control, because like you said, each one of those things you name, I want to be a part of something. I'm scared. I might as well be a part of this. And everybody just pick sides. But you know what's the craziest thing about it? I was on Bel Air Road when we first opened down Bel Air Road, Say Street site. And the kid said to me, I said, damn, boy, y'all got Bloods, Crips, and BGF up here, huh? Because we opened the Say Street's Bel Air Road site like
with that Bel Air
ago.
Edison shit.
Yeah, so I'm looking. So I'm seeing the little dudes on the step. One dude got on his black, one dude red, one dude blue. So I just so happened to pull one of them up and I'm having a conversation with him like, bro, y'all got all three of the gangs up here. He said, bro, all of us went to school together. All of us grew up together. Niggas just pick sides. He said, but when the niggas with the power come home, they the ones be making us beef. You dig what I'm saying? So it's always some dude that's high ranking in one of these organizations got
causing a division.
Self-proclaimed little dreams and shit. Shit he want to get done. So he'll come home and use the pups. And by the time you look up, the pups might be beefing with a whole nother clique. So it's really...
Man, I remember coming up and shit, right? Right. I remember coming up and it was a time when, because I've never been gang affiliated at all, you feel me? I fought with some Lokes, I fought with some Bloods. I've always been one of those guys who kind of just carried my shit myself. But I got friends all over. That's just part of growing up inside our communities and shit. So I remember it was a time sitting out on the block with homies and shit, and they used to try. You got one homie that a nigga come through and he'd try to say what gang he and this, that, and another. And I remember back then you used to have to go get your sponsor. That's what they used to call that shit. Like, no, go get your sponsor. You gotta check in. Like, who the fuck are you? And you had to prove who you was. You had to do all that. So this isn't to say I idolize gangs and shit like that. But I do understand certain people aspect was they wanted that level of bullshit, or they have done so much inside the communities as far as violence and negativity that niggas was giving them certain positions to start their shit off. So now you starting off high rank and you give a nigga that comes from nothing that's been proving everything himself. You feel me? You got to pop that pistol every time you got a situation. You've been doing that, and now the nigga telling you, look, nigga, we gonna give you rank, put some soldiers under you, all of that type shit. And it became power hungriness for a lot of people. You feel me? So y'all, when we're talking about, all right, so as far as with all the stuff that you was talking about, the reasons why people join the gangs, both of y'all said some wonderful shit on why they join the gangs. You feel me?
Yeah.
But
I mean, I thought I was going to be part of some shit that's actually saving the world, me personally.
That's what I was about to ask. Like,
or not even saving the world, just like, you know, even if a nigga died over this shit, it's meant to be like on some martyr shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's what I was about to ask, Cardy.
My whole culture, whatever rag they had, or even if they was church going motherfuckers, it should make it. We should be the front line for making it better for all the rest of the niggas. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Because most little dudes.
Go ahead.
See, most little dudes don't even understand Crip was meant constant revolution and progress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? They don't understand blood meant black liberation, overcoming our depression. Right?
Right.
If you look at the constitutions and the bylaws associated with gangs, man, gangs is a great thing.
It was supposed to be. Yeah. See, that's what I was going to ask y'all both, right? So when it was originally created, you feel me? And gangs, keep in mind, we can look at it. They tried to paint Black Panthers as a gang. You feel me? So in the same way that you say that you fuck with LA Projects, you feel me? That was your gang. You know, and as niggas been saying forever, the fucking police department is one of the biggest fucking gangs. You feel me? Yeah. So it's just your group of who you choose.
The Cowboys with the gang.
Exactly. So you
the
know when you got
and the Westerns with gangs.
When you got shit like that, and you got people that they're going back and forth with these gangs and things of that sort. What happened with the positivity aspect of it? You dig what I'm saying? What happened with that part? Because it was supposed to start on a positive aspect. It was supposed to be on a thing that helped the community. It provided certain things. It provided protection to the people that couldn't. It They was in the streets actually making positive moves. Now I understand when anything, just like Cardi said, you still got your shit gonna happen. You feel me? Certain shit gonna happen, certain things, it's gotta happen. That's just what it is
It's
if you're talking any type of street thing.
Bro.
Say that again?
It's uneducation, bro. Like,
and that's the biggest thing.
Like, yeah, because like you stop talking about the prison stuff around like the early 2000s. That's when I start catching little weed bits. You know what I'm saying? With that dumbass mandatory minimum, I'm more or less to zone 15, and then on the county side in zone 7, that behind the plaza shit. And I end up being the whole minister of the Nation of Islam up Central Laundry when the BGF was taking everybody's shit. You know what I'm saying? It was white Crips and shit up there. I'm like, I can't even function with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I end up just fucking with smart niggas, more or less. Then that weed me into the Nation of Islam, and then, you know, on some Central Laundry shit, motherfuckers going home. So it's like, it's no real, like, consistency to nothing up that motherfucker. So, like, then I just figured out, like, even the Nation of Islam on some gang shit.
Even you know the Sunni Muslim brothers
and
in
I
jail.
Start growing and just realized, damn, yo, the Nation of Islam uptown is all Masons. All the preachers is all Masons. They sworn not to tell us shit. So what the fuck is they all talking about? Then I start digging deeper like that. Now I'm on some whole like other shit. Like I could talk to any nigga in any gang just about real shit. I realized that the niggas could use pups because their money wasn't up. And they was trying to still be some shit that they should have really outgrew already.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you wasn't that nigga at 26, don't come home at 32 trying to be 26.
Yeah.
That shit happens all the time.
Or niggas 40 trying to be 30. Or whatever.
It's made.
No, that shit happens all the time. So how do we correct? All right, so gangs exist. That's just point fucking blank. Is that it exists? That shit gonna exist probably forever. How do we correct the movements throughout these gangs? Like I see some shit now, and a lot of rags are being tied now. You feel me? A lot of niggas are connected as far as blood, Crip, and they got their little sections. I don't remember what it's called. You feel me? And I don't want to misquote that, but they got little sections that they are connected now. Blood, Crip, united. How do we get back into what it was off of the violence aspect? How do we put? And I know you said it's miseducation. You feel me? And it's not being educated, but how do we as brothers in the community that's actually out here and the younger niggas listen to us, you feel me? It's going to be a lot of young niggas listening to this episode. You feel me? There's going to be a lot of young females because we also tend to forget their shit is all ganged up too. A lot of these females is gang like a motherfucker now, whereas though back in the day, I do remember the females being just more of you were gang affiliated due to who you were fucking or who you were dealing with. Now a lot of these girls is being blessed in themselves. You feel me? And I don't know how that aspect runs, but a lot of these girls is going harder than a lot of the niggas. So for those listening out here, like how do we tell them or what do we say to get them back on the aspect of the positivity of what your gang is doing? Like for instance, somebody like Cardi who's older in the gang life, you feel me? And you're not actually active and moving like one of these knuckleheads, you feel me? You're doing positive in your community. How do we tell these niggas that they need to get back to what it was meant for? You feel me? That abbreviation as far as what Dante was saying as far as each letter meant.
Most of these kids, man, you gotta understand, man. They ain't even read the paperwork associated with, you know, what they bought into, right? Like I'm quite sure that the Crips have some kind of paperwork, right? That should actually shape and mold you and teach you how to be a Crip, right? And I know that paperwork ain't telling you to go shoot nobody, rob nobody, or do nothing. Just like the BGF ain't like that, just like the Bloods ain't like that. That paperwork is telling you to be a father to your children, a husband to your wife, right? An advocate for your community, right? An educator for your community. So what has happened was the ship been watered down and nobody is teaching those aspects of the game, because if those aspects have been taught, it would be dudes inside of that motherfucker that would be that spark or that shine and light saying, bro, we ain't supposed to be doing that. So the fact that the education part of the gang is lost, you dig what I'm saying, it's going to have to be re-implemented. If somebody is out here and they heads of gangs and shit, they should be teaching their guys that, the gang wasn't made for that. You dig what I'm saying? The gang wasn't made for us to come out here and cause destruction in our community. The BGF shouldn't even exist on the street because their rules
that's
say
what I was told.
that the BGF is a organization that protects prison inmates inside of prison, right? So how it made out into the street or whatever, I don't know. You dig what I'm saying? But we know it did, right? But I just really believe, like he said, it's the education part, right? And it's not just education, right? What we have to do is what I believe. I believe that all these niggas on these corners, right, need to be trained and developed. We need to go back into our communities and teach niggas how to create nonprofit programs, right?
Oh, because, man, that's big.
Let's just say Monument and Rules, right? Yeah, Mr. C up there doing his thing with the cleanup. You dig what I'm saying? But it could be other community organizations and they could be young guys. You dig what I'm saying? Someone could be teaching them how to write proposals, establish a nonprofit so that we could be doing COVID relief in the communities for our kids, right? We don't, like right now in our community, I got a guy up in New York, his name K Bain. This is my guy. He's up in Queensbridge. He has looked at research where New York City police were arresting people for COVID violations, right? So he went to the mayor, wrote a proposal and said that police should not be the ones who are doing COVID compliance, right? Wrote a grant. Now he has individuals in Queensbridge that he pays through a nonprofit to do COVID compliance. You dig what I'm saying? So they got dudes out in the neighborhood telling people to social distance. They passing out all the necessary supplies, to help people sanitize their house, keep their hands clean, covering their face and stuff like that. So this is what needs to happen in Baltimore City, but it doesn't happen because we got so many probably organizations that are disconnected from the community. It's just that the big organizations know how to write the grants. They already got the 501c3s and they already have done people favors.
But see, the fucked up part about that is even down to the getting these people, because like we said, everything still drops back into gangs. Whether the fuck you want to call it a blood grip, whatever the fuck it is, whatever you're doing, you feel me? It still drops back into gangs. A lot of the nonprofits and the niggas that have the information are carrying their shit like a gang anyway, and they beefing with the other nonprofits. You feel me? Everybody want to be king of this city, and we gonna keep it deeper than just Baltimore because keep in mind this show goes everywhere.
Countrywide.
Yeah, you feel me? It's I hear that shit happening to my homies in New York. I hear that happening to my niggas in Atlanta. It's the same shit. They want to be.
You know what I mean?
Everything is wanting to go back to dividing us. Like it's like, so it's got to come a point that we come to a gathering of mutual minds and understanding that we have a fucking goal. And if we come up with the goal for these young people, you feel me? Then we can actually attack those goals, like what you were saying with the 501c and all of those things, nonprofits. Yo, I was servicing my nonprofit to a community that I've never been a part of. You feel me? Which is Cherry Hill. I was fucking with that's the first place that I was a school teacher at. So my nonprofit automatically, which was beat of my own drum, automatically was geared towards these kids because that's who I fell in love with, and I fell in love with teaching. Now y'all know, coming from the east side of Baltimore and shit, we was never really allowed to function out Cherry Hill. Now I ride through Cherry Hill and I'm like a fucking neighborhood. Like I ain't get love like that when I was breaking law.
Yeah.
So we know that it exists. We know that they need the love. They just need the fucking guidance. So the gang shit is an aspect of it because it's so big here that niggas gonna have to come together and do shit. So you, for instance, Dante, you grew up under a family that was known. They're how can we put it? They're broadcasted or portrayed as a family that did a lot of dirt in Baltimore. You know, they're portrayed as a family that did a lot of breaking down Baltimore. But how many stories do you have, and you coming from there and having the inside scoop, that you've seen positivity from those same people that everybody is going to paint as the bad guys? You
Absolutely.
feel me? Those what the OGs was when we grew up, same as you, Cardi. You knew who, and I know that you know it just by fact, Cardi. I remember being in clubs with you. We talking 10, 15 years ago, my G, and you coming in with 20, 30 niggas. You feel me? And y'all carry that shit. You feel me? It's one of the, I put it on, yo, you got 20, 30 niggas with you. You automatically tough. It's no fucking doubt about it because it's too many of y'all. How can you not be tough? We can fuck the whole place up. So you got a nigga, but you see certain people that come in, and this is why you are at who you are, like you stated earlier. That's why you are who you are, the way you carried it so calm, because even back then, you never stepped out of who Cardi was. You always showed that shit. That was on some...
Like, we never was on no waiting for shit to go left.
Exactly. It was on that Styles P shit. Y'all remember Styles P dropped it.
We gonna stop the fight. You know what I'm saying? My niggas gonna stop the fight like that. But I ain't gonna lie. The more positive I tried to be with my peoples, the less peoples was around. And we just was getting older and older, you know what I'm saying? But that's why you never heard of me saying, oh, yeah, these my little niggas over. Like, I don't know. I you know, because I got sick, too, 2013. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I became the place of,
hey, bro,
I talk to motherfuckers, you know, because I got two sons. It's grown. You know what I'm saying? They both self-sufficient. You know, my youngest boy, he do all the music. Right. He make the beats with all the dudes.
He got that
out
shit
there. So, you know, I just try to slide through and just let them know, man, it's so much legal money, period, out here now, man.
But like, is money?
Stop listening to these
and
rappers.
not just the money, though. Not just
stop
the
money.
Yeah.
You know,
the money ain't even a fucking aspect.
That be investing for them and shit, man. You know,
because we got to
so
keep in mind,
shit.
though, Cardi. We got to keep in mind, like, you know, the money ain't even an aspect nowadays because niggas ain't catching big money no more. That's why the fucking the murder rates is what, you feel me? That's a big part of what the murder rate is.
These dudes are hungry.
Man,
these
niggas
dudes are hungry. Listen, these blocks
like they
ain't doing
don't
nothing
see it.
like they was doing
they get
20
a new
years
drug
ago.
to feed us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I remember in the 90s, niggas would not even smoke weed out of a pipe just because there was some white boy shit.
Now everybody smoking.
When 2000 hit, the weed turned up. Then 2010, the pills turned up. Syrup, all that shit. It's just like, they don't get that niggas becoming more customers. You know what I mean? It's just different now. Like back then, nobody was hitting little kids by accident without getting hit. Because like, I first moved in the county from Park Heights. We lived next door to the Butlers. So I know what that shit really was about back then. You know what I'm saying? He got locked up next door to my house.
Wow. So, look, I want to take 1 minute out, you feel me, to holler at and shout out one of my sponsors for today's episode, which is 5 o'clock CO. That's 5 o'clock CO. Go there right now. They're offering 20% off of all purchases over $60. This is for all the men that do any type of beard care, that need any type of oils and things of that. They offer beard wash, beard balm, beard oils. They got 3 different scents. Look, I done tried all the scents. I'm out here. Look, the scents is the shit. I see you looking at your face, Dante. Get you some of the motherfucking beard care short.
My shit won't grow on the side. So
listen to either. This what I'm gonna guarantee you, homie, because I'm only fucking with things that I actually support. You feel me? And it's black owned, 100% organic. Go holler at the homies over there, and I guarantee you, if y'all shit don't grow in, your face at least gonna smell good, and they gonna love you out here. You
That's what's up.
Your shit growing. Yo,
this right here.
Yeah,
real talk. So make sure y'all go over to 5 o'clock. 5o'clockco.com. That's FIVEOCLOCKCO.com for all of your beard care needs. Go holler at them. All right. So look, right. A lot of people feel as though gangs and violence go hand in hand. And they feel as though, and this is strictly from a question from my audience who asked, if gangs never existed, would the violence still be as high as it is today? Without the gangs, you know, coming from a city like Baltimore where we averaging over 300 murders per year. If it was without the gangs, would that still exist? Do y'all think so?
Yes.
You think so?
Absolutely. See, what you gotta remember is our gang problem may have started 2000, late 90s. And we still had 300 homicides in the 90s, bro. Right?
Shit.
And what I really believe it is, and the major problem, it's the shit that we see on Fox Investigates, bro. They have done a really good job with miseducating our kids, right? Another thing, people don't understand how violence has been caused throughout our city for the last 20, 25 years, even with this lead paint poison settlements and shit like that, right? You taking 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and you putting $200,000 and $300,000 in their hand, $1 million, $900,000. And what was happening was these little kids, bro, were going on a block buying 10 dudes' cars, you digging what I'm saying, a bunch of guns and a bunch of drugs. And this was happening repetitiously for the last 25 years. Now, I'm not saying it's just the lead paint pours, but let's look at that. They miseducated. They living in poverty, right? We got lead paint poison victims. And we ain't talking about the ones who got the money. We talking about ones who didn't even get diagnosed. You dig what I'm saying? With lead paint poisoning. We got a lot of mental health. We got a lot of trauma. Here it is, you take a kid from one of these housing projects. He already grew up poor. On top of that, his mother sell pussy because she's a crackhead. People who sell drugs outside of his house all day, every day. On top of that, his mother is abusive. On top of that, he might got an uncle who touched him. So I'm talking about a girl. It could be a little girl or a little boy. You dig what I'm saying?
Locked up or dead.
Yeah, you dig what I'm saying? Father's not at home. You dig what I'm saying? The system, the systematic racism and all of that stuff that's in place, right? To oppress black men has been the reason for this. Bro, do you realize you go get a nigga off the block, give him a kingpin charge? You know what I mean? Niggas sitting in jail, right? Got kingpin drug charges or major drug cases, right? And they ain't killed nobody. They just got big drug cases where they was making money.
Shit, the killer's home. The killer's all home.
If you take this dude off this block, do you understand how you unstabilizing some of these neighborhoods by sweeping in with the feds and locking all these guys up for just selling drugs? You dig what I'm saying? Because everybody's not killing people. It's a small percentage of people who kill people, bro.
Say that again, Cardy.
Small percentage of people who's really committing murders. But it's a really big percentage of people who sell drugs. You dig what I'm saying?
Because they the smart nigga. They are the leader. They are the alpha in that little circle of a network. They targeted our pre-leaders before they can grow, turn things into a positive, the long way. That's what they doing. They targeting all those people.
Real shit.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's definitely a setup.
Intelligence in the neighborhood.
Now,
the niggas that know how to move without catching cases, you know what I'm saying? They gonna be able to shake hands with other races, and it's different type of things going on for them. You know what I'm saying? And
now I believe
it's a lot to handle when they don't know nothing. So I get what you're saying, but I know they definitely specifically targeted. You know?
Now the answer to these problems is this: every neighborhood needs their own resources, bro. Every neighborhood. If we break these neighborhoods down, right, and we look at it from a community development standpoint, right? Let's just take a housing project. So let's just take Gilmore Homes. We know in Gilmore Homes it might be 300 or 400 residents, right? Maybe 500, maybe 900. I don't know. But let's just say if it was 500 residents, 50 of them are elderly, right? Maybe 200 of them may be women between the ages of 20 and 30, right? And then you might have a whole bunch of 40-something, 50-somethings in there too. why don't we create community cohorts, bro? Right? Where instead of these people going into nursing homes and all that kind of stuff, why don't we have a community response team to the needs of the older folks? Why don't we have a community response team that cleans the neighborhood? Why don't we have a community response team that beautifies the neighborhood, plant trees? And these will be jobs that's developed inside of the neighborhood. You dig what I'm saying? We got to figure out how we can have truly thriving communities. Because what people don't realize is if I get a kid from Gilmore Projects and I try to send him to the East Baltimore Career Center, you dig what I'm saying, or the Northwest Career Center, he has to ultimately leave out his neighborhood, right? So some of these people feel like they in danger when they moving through other neighborhoods because they might have did something, or their cousin, or their cousin did something, or their brother did something, and you're not safe in these times if a dude know that's your cousin and your cousin shot out man. He still ain't safe. So we got to figure out how we make thriving communities. Right? If we was over East Baltimore, we know what PVG, Douglas, the New Chapel Hill, Perkins, and Flag at, right? It should be a cohort of services right there in that neighborhood for medical, for mental health treatment, for employment development. You dig what I'm saying? For all of that stuff, it needs to be in the community. You shouldn't have to get on the bus to go get a service that should be
right inside like your
provided in your community.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. That's what we got to do as a community. You feel me? And that's what we got to do as the OGs of the neighborhoods and to all of the gang members out there, because this is dedicated to y'all. This episode is really dedicated to anybody that's ever been in a gang, know about gang. You feel me? Anybody that's affected by it, which is all of us. You feel me?
All of us.
Not to say that your gang affiliation is what's wrong or right. You feel me? Because that's not our choice. What we saying is it's time for motherfuckers to set up, to shut up or put up. You feel me? It's time for motherfuckers to get out there and actually make moves for their community, because it's deeper than just your flag of I want to break law, I want to do violence. You feel me? You got an actual person on here that knows about gangs. I mean, that's actually affiliated with gangs. You got another person on here that knows about gangs. You got another one on here that knows about this shit as well. You know, and it's a system of, you know, we have come to the conclusion that it's just being miseducated. You feel me? Motherfuckers don't know, not having the resources. It's the same thing. So if we talking about gang life, that shit don't really matter why a motherfucker chose to be in it, but the fans wanted to know and the listeners wanted to know why and why it's such a big thing here. But we coming up with a lot of understanding today of why the fuck it is here. And it's here simply because of niggas is not educated correctly. Niggas ain't
mental health trauma.
Exactly. Don't have the resources, trauma. It's all of those things that we thought it was in the beginning. You feel me? It's literally everything. Some niggas is just scared. Some niggas, you got to be a part of it.
Self-hate too. You know what I mean? Like, you think you hate other niggas, but you kind of just
hate yourself.
It's just, this shit is so deep. You know what I mean?
But we got kids out here, right? We got kids out here that let their pants hang off their ass, bro, just so they can look like the other kids.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we and that was one of the biggest things too. I forgot which one of y'all said it. You feel me? With the following thing. It's just part of what, and it's what Baltimore has always been, but gangs is trickled in all states. So it's like everybody is really following some shit, and then you got hip hop making that shit so glorifying. Well, hip hop is glorifying that shit and making it seem like it's something that it's not. You feel me? Versus now you have niggas that want to be in it just because the killer rapper talked about it. Versus niggas like Cardy that wanted to be in it because he thought that he was doing positivity for the neighborhood and it actually was a revolutionary type of movement. You feel me? So you got people from all aspects. And when you talk about gangs, I think one of the biggest misconceptions to the world is probably thinking that they're all bad. Thinking that every nigga within that gang is just a bad nigga. So this ain't one of those things that we trying to sit there and down people for their choices. What we saying is whatever the fuck your choice is, make sure you start moving for your community the way that it's supposed to be.
And that's the thing, bro.
It's what needs to fucking change. You feel me? That's what changes the gang. Niggas not being affiliated with gangs ain't gonna change the violence that happens in our city. Niggas
Not
not
at
being
all.
affiliated with gangs ain't gonna change the fact that niggas are still starving, so they still gonna sell drugs, they still gonna rob, they still gonna steal, they still gonna do all of these fucking things because they're starving with no resources. So the
Yeah.
biggest part that niggas is worried about is these gang flags and shit like that. All right, cool. If that's what you want to waste your energy on and feel as though that's a worry, but the biggest worries out here, some of the biggest worries is things that we can fix within our own community. You feel me? And those is where we really got to step up. So I can have this conversation with you brothers all day. You feel me? What we is dwindling on time. Like I told y'all from the jump, I ain't gonna hold y'all too much. I wanted to give y'all both though opportunities to speak to my fan base. You feel me? Your fan base that'll be listening. Give them some insight and give some insight to the young homie that's listening right now. You feel me? Both of y'all, and tell them where they can reach y'all at. What y'all got going as far as what y'all promoting and things of that sort. I just want to give y'all time before we get out of here. Cardy, you could go first, Cardy.
All right. Well, I'm on Twitter, Cardy Coach K, CARDY _ Coach K. And I'm on Facebook though. I'm LeVar Moore. I'm Bar Cardy on IG. I just tell Lord, young people, man, just pick my brain because everybody's scenario is different. You know what I'm saying? But in a sense, I'm talking plenty of people off the ledge. You know what I'm saying? There's people that situations with their wife stepping out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to just let them know, look, this how it is. So some of these brothers just need to understand women, or women in general. Some of these brothers just need to know, like, there's more to this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to learn this trading thing. You know what I'm saying? So once I develop that the right way, then I'll be able to do some things. But, I had to get my own health back together. So it's a whole nutrition aspect of it that need to be going on. You know what I'm saying? All these niggas need to be working out, eating better. You know what I'm saying? Because the shit we eating is making us act a certain way off the top. The shit we seeing on TV perpetuates. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we getting estrogen. Our women getting testosterone in the birth control. The shit is weird right now. You know what I'm saying?
Everything's fucked up
on every level. Yeah, and everybody needs something different. You know what I mean? Because like you said, it's people that been tampered with in different ways. They just had a lot of different trauma. You know what I'm saying? They automatically against the world. And generally, our city in general, being like a copycat city, just show like it's not that sense of pride like it should be. Like how a motherfucker from New York don't give a fuck how stupid they is, whatever. They know, it's a sense of more pride to where though we shouldn't even want. We don't want to be like everybody else. Everybody else want to be like us, but we just ain't figured that all the way out yet. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't that the funny part, man?
That's
everybody really want to be us, and we try to be everybody else. You know what I mean, bro?
That's
so
crazy part. That's real shit, Cardi. I appreciate you, brother. Dante, tell them where they can reach you at and what you got going on, brother.
Yeah, man, you can reach me at Barksdale Dante on IG, and Dante Tater Barksdale on Facebook. You can go to my page. I wrote a book I dropped last November before last. It's called Growing Up Barksdale. A memoir of my life. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. It's a good read. It's a quick read. You dig what I'm saying? It's about a little bit of history of my life, about the Barksdale family, a little bit about the why. Just explaining some of the discrepancies on there. You know what I mean? But you can visit any of our 10 Safe Street sites. If you look it up on Safe Streets, Baltimore, we got 10 Safe Street sites. We in a neighborhood near you. Our Safe Street sites offer all different kinds of resources. If you go to one of the sites, I'm sure they'll give you a warm welcome. But my biggest thing is, man, for most of the listeners, right, is to sit back and reflect on your life, and reflect on the things that you can do to help yourself become a better person, and things that you can do to help other people become a better person. Because sometimes, like, people come to you, be a good listener, man. Be someone that people can come to and maybe dump something on. And in exchange, man, you might be able to dump something on them, and both of y'all can ultimately help one another. But having good listening skills, man, and being attentive, man, and just trying to live an honorable life, trying to be real pious. I mean, these are the things that's going to help us out, man. Don't start looking at the little things. And remember, man, most of the time, if somebody get upset with you and they do something to you, you dig what I'm saying? They upset you and you feel like you've been violated. Just remember, you did the same shit too before. Because I tell dudes all the time, you got dudes out here committing murders and shit, and they kill people for shit that they're actually guilty of themselves. You dig what I'm saying? So take a self-evaluation. You dig what I'm saying? And think about some of the things you have done to wrong people, and think about the things that people have wronged you, and try to forgive them, man, and try to even call them and ask them for forgiveness for the things that you might have done. And I think if we just start there with just a little bit sprinkle of forgiveness, I think all of us, man, will be way better off, man. And be smart about it. You dig what I'm saying? Just adjust your tone. When people being hostile with you and they saying something crazy to you, man, be humble. Speak firmly, but do it in a lower tone. Because one thing if two people fussing, the louder you are, nobody can hear you.
Nobody hearing nobody.
Small voice that they can hear. So, man, that's just the message I want to give out to people, man. Try to forgive people, man, and then ask people for forgiveness for the shit that you might have done. Because just remember, bro, whatever somebody did to you, I'm quite sure as a human being, you've done the same shit too. Just at a different,
man.
You know what I mean?
That's real.
So
look,
that's
brothers,
all I appreciate,
say,
bro.
I appreciate y'all coming on. I appreciate y'all being a part of this. To the young niggas listening, you feel me, the younger generation listening, I want y'all to, you feel me, just to touch on understanding that you can skip certain shit that some of us have got ourselves into. You can skip just by watching shit like this and listening to shit like this and doing it with an open mind. The biggest thing in life that you got to understand when you have youth behind you and you have that young age behind you is the opportunity to skip things that's happening to other people because you've seen it. You feel me? There's no reason to jump into fire if you already know what fire feel like. There's no reason to feel it. They explain what it feel like. Like, you don't need to do that. You feel me? So if y'all thinking about gangs and gang life and things of that sort, how about you skip that step and actually look at the step of what our communities need, which we were saying on this episode of coming together, building unity, and guess what? You're in a gang. You're in a gang. You just ain't use a flag. You feel me? We already know this. That you creating your gang.
Yeah.
Create your neighborhood gangs again. You feel me? So this episode, y'all know, was brought to you by Extraordinary Publishing. This is my second sponsor for today, Extraordinary Publishing. They has also dropped a new book called Jamaican Me Go Crazy Part 2. I need everybody to go out and get that. It's an urban fiction. It's geared towards all of the urban things that go on. Jamaican Me Go Crazy Part 2. You can get it anywhere books are sold. Also on extraordinarypublishing.com. That's EXSTARDINARY publishing.com. Make sure y'all go there. Also, don't forget to get Dante's book. Yo, I'm ordering that shit today. You understand? Because I want to look, we all watched the motherfucking Wire. We all know what it was. We all know what it's about. My man said he got the inside scoop to figure out some of the things that he just ain't agree with on there. You feel me? So I'm interested in that. Make sure y'all holler at the big homie Cardy. Again, the nigga wears many hats, but he's one of the most positive brothers I know, one of the most easiest to talk to brothers I know. Again, this is episode number 28, Cards Face Up Podcast. You two, I appreciate you, and we out. Peace.
We out, bro.
Peace.